Lesson 8.4, the law of cosines. Some teachers choose not to teach this because they teach their students the law of sines. So you need to determine if your teacher is going to require this section or not. But it starts out, says, write the equation of the side lengths of these two triangles using the Pythagorean theorem. So let's review quickly the Pythagorean theorem. If a triangle is a right triangle, which these are, then a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c has to be the hypotenuse. So go ahead and write these out. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. A plus a squared b squared equals c squared. And then this part B says use a systems of equation to solve. They both have h in it. So you might have to refresh on your algebra, but you can solve two different equations with multiple variables, especially if they both have the same variable, and in this case, it would be h. Developing the law of cosines. This is an amazing video. It goes through step by step and tells you where and how the formula is developed for the law of cosines. Feel free to watch that. I encourage it. Your teacher might explain this as well, but the bottom line is this video explains how these rules came about. Try it. Number one, it is asking you to write an equation to help us find a squared. In the video that was on the previous slide that I said I would encourage you to watch, it gave us a formula. I'm going to write that down for you now so that you have it, and then we can refer back to it. Okay, what it says is that a squared, meaning this side right here, and honestly, it's any side, just one of the sides of a non-right triangle. Okay, so if I had a squared, that would equal the other two sides, b squared plus c squared, subtracting 2ab, bc, times the cosine of the angle that we're talking about. So in this case, it's A. So that is a really long formula, but let me explain it. So if you're looking for one side, this side A, I covered that by accident. You take the other two side lengths and square them. Here they are, other two side lengths and square them. Then you subtract 2 times the other two side lengths. There's the two side lengths again, times the cosine of the angle across from the side you want. Okay, which is kind of confusing, but you can do that. So if I was looking for a squared, that's exactly what I would do. And if I had values for these, I would plug those values in. Here are the law of cosines. Don't worry about having all of this memorized. You just need to understand the concept. So let's look at C, for example. This is the side I need, this c squared. So in the formula, it has the other two sides involved squared. So instead of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, it's a little bit different. But notice we have all three sides, and they're all squared. And the one we're looking for is over here. That's what we're solving for. Once you have those two sides squared that you're not looking for, then you subtract 2 times each of the sides, so the a and the b, which are these same two numbers, and then the cosine, and this is really important. It's always going to be the angle across from the side you're looking at. So if you're looking for a side, you square the two sides that you're not looking for, and then subtract 2ab times the cosine of across the angle across from it. Now we can try some example problems. So let's think of that formula again, and I'm just going to write A or BC, segment BC, I'm going to label our X. And these are the other two sides that I'm not looking for. So X squared should equal one side, I'm going to say 8 squared, plus the other side, I'll say the 10 squared. And the formula says subtract 2 times one of the sides you don't need, the other side that you don't need, that I'm not looking for, I should say, times the cosine of the angle across from the side. So cosine 57. Okay, which seems very complicated when you see the formula all at once, but when you're plugging it in, you're like, oh, these are numbers. These are doable numbers, especially if you have a calculator near you. So 8 squared, 64, plus 10 squared, 100, minus, well, 8 times 10 is 80, times 2, that's 160, times the cosine of 57. Okay, grab that calculator, figure out what the cosine of 57 is, times 160, and then subtract it, and let's see what we get. When I plug this into the calculator, actually just the cosine of 57, I get 0.54, and I'm just going to go dot, dot, dot. So you know that there is more. It's just in my calculator, times that 160. Okay, 64 and 100, 164. Just bringing everything else down. And when I multiply these out, once I have that cosine times the 160, I actually get 87.14-ish, dot, 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 keep going. Subtract the 164, and you should get approximately 76.85. That is x squared. I do not want x squared. I want x. So once you have this final result, you have to take the square root of both sides. And when I bring that over here, okay, when you take the square root, and actually when I was just looking, the 76.85, it actually said, if I'm rounding, it's 76.86. But I'm leaving these all in my calculator, so I'm not actually rounding anything right now. So I take the square root and I get x is approximately 8.7, we'll say 7. 8.77. That is the side length. So if you know the formula, if you have a scientific calculator or graphing calculator in front of you, the calculator does most of the work. You just need to set it up in the correct position, which sides go where and which angles go where. Let's try another one. This time we're looking for DE. So again, I'm just going to label this X. And remember the formula of the law of cosines, X squared, meaning the side we're looking for, is the sides that you don't need, 6 squared plus 8 squared, those are both squared, minus 2 times each of the sides that you are not looking for, cosine, and the degrees opposite the side you're looking for, cosine 62. So grab those calculators, plug it in, and let's see what you get. 6 squared is 36. 8 squared is 64. I've got this. 8 times 6 times 12, or sorry, 8 times 6 times 2 times the cosine 62. So I'm just going to bring down cosine 62. I still haven't plugged that into my calculator. I will take all this and say 96 times that cosine 62. Plug this cosine 62 in, and again, I'm going to show you what I get just so then you can verify that your calculator is indeed in degrees. Because if you get a different answer than I do, we did something wrong. So cosine 62, I got 0.469 dot, 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 dot. I'm just going to leave it in there so I know that I am not actually rounding. I'm just leaving it in my calculator. 96, I'm subtracting this. I'm putting these two together, combining like terms. This is 100. So I have 100 times 100 minus whatever 96 times the cosine of 62 is. Don't clear your calculator, just multiply it out. And I got roughly, keep in mind, I'm not rounding, my calculator's holding all these numbers, 69. So I got about 45-ish. Remember, I'm subtracting this from 100. When you subtract, you will get 54.93. Keep going. But remember, all of this is x squared. I don't want x squared. I want x. So take the square root of this 54, and you should get x approximately 7.4. If you didn't actually get 7.4, you got 7.5, 7.3 something. Keep in mind, I am not rounding the whole way. So if you can avoid rounding at all, the entire process, and then just round at the end, you will have a more exact answer. For this one, I'm going to help you set it up, but I'm not going to solve it all the way. I'm going to let you do that. It says find GH. So let's start with GH. Here is our side that we're looking for. Take the two sides that you are not looking for, that you already have. Subtract 2 times each of the sides times the value of cosine angle across 110. So there it is set up for you. As you solve this, The very end, please remember, take the square root of both sides so that you'll get x equals whatever that is. Here's the law of cosines, but you don't have the angles. You have all three sides. So you're still going to solve it in the same way until the end. Then we're going to have a little variation. So let's set this up. And it says the optimal tilt of a solar panel is between 58 and 60 degrees to the horizontal. So like these angles, this angle R or this angle P. So has this been placed in the correct order? So let's look at that. Has this been placed correctly so that it is between 58 and 60 degrees? So I'm going to mark this up a little bit. And I'm going to say that this angle over here is what we're looking for. To be honest, it could be angle P or R. It doesn't really matter. But if this is the angle we're looking for, this is our x. So that, think of the formula we've been using, x squared equals, all that stuff we've been doing, the side lengths that we don't need, squared minus 2 times 18 times cosine of the side across from it, which is cosine of P. Now, we have everything we need except P. The only difference is we also need to plug in the side that we, in the past, haven't had. But we have it this time. So we're going to say 19 squared is going to be in place of this x and x squared. All right, so let's figure this out. And I'm just going to drop these all down here. So 19 squared, 20 squared, and 18 squared. Figure those out. 19 squared is 361. 20 squared is 400. 18 squared is 324 minus, you can do all this in front first and get 720 cosine P. Again, all we are missing is this cosine P. So let's combine these like terms as much as we can and get cosine P by itself. When I combine these, I get 724. I cannot combine 720 with that other 724 because this is times cosine P. It's a multiplication problem. These are stuck together right here. Equals 361. I'm going to subtract the 724 from both sides. 24. I'm going to bring this over here. And so I will get 363. That's a negative 363 equals negative 720 times cosine P. Now this seems like a lot, but it's just a lot of number crunching. The most difficult part is getting the right things in the right spot of the formula, and then it's just number crunching, using that calculator. That's okay for most teachers. They'll let you do that. And now we need to get cosine P by itself. To do that, I'm going to divide by negative 720 on both sides. 720. When I divide, I get that the cosine of P equals, and I got 0.504, yada, yada, yada. Okay. That number, remember, is not necessarily the final number. In fact, it is not the angle. I didn't find the angle. I found the ratio of cosine P. So if you remember, if you're ever looking for the angle, you have to use the inverse functions, and that would be cosine inverse. So I'm going to put this way up here. We haven't used any math over here in a while. So I'm going to have cosine inverse of that ratio, 0.504. Remember, leave it into your calculator, and that should equal the measurement of angle P. And when I plug that in, I get approximately the measure of angle P is 59.72, yada, yada, yada. And the question says, is it between 58 and 60? Mine is 59 something, so this is definitely set up correctly. Here's example 3, try it, same idea, solving for those angles. So let's just say we're looking for angle X. So that means this is like the side I'm missing, even though I have it. So I'm going to say 4 squared equals the other two sides squared minus 2 times each of the sides that I don't need, cosine X. Once again, do everything you can without even using a calculator. Combine like terms. combine these times cosine x, subtract, and you should get 84. Now you can combine like terms. And so you have 16 equals 85 minus 84 cosine x. And again, these are multiplied together. You cannot combine 85 and 84. So be aware of that. Subtract 85 on both sides. And it looks like I'm going to get a negative number again. You get negative 69 equals negative 84 cosine x. Now divide by whatever's touching this cosine x. Divide by negative 84 on both sides. And you're going to get an ugly decimal, and that's totally fine. And when you do that, when you divide, you get a positive 0.82, yada, yada, yada. That's cosine x. Remember, I'm leaving this into the calculator. I know I keep saying that, but that's how important it is. And I have the cosine x ratio is 0.82-ish. Okay, that is not the angle. When I find the angle, I'm going to use the inverse cosine function. Inverse of the ratio, 0.82, yada, yada. That will equal the measure of angle x. So I grab my calculator, plug it in, and I got 34.77 degrees is the measurement of angle x. Example 3, try it. Part B, I'm going to let you do this on your own, but just be aware you're looking for measurement of angle P. And so the side across from it, that's the 13. So it should be 13 squared equals, I'm going to let you do everything else yourself. Good luck. Both of these application problems are fabulous. And in fact, they're exactly what we've just been doing. It says the district ranger wants to build a new ranger station at a location of the fire tower right here, because it would be closer to Bald Mountain. So instead of going this way, 2.1 miles, the district ranger thinks this is shorter from the fire tower to the Bald Mountain. So basically, we are looking for this distance from the fire tower to Bald Mountain. If we're looking for that distance, you have all the skills you need. Here's our triangle. We're looking for this. We have the angles across from it. We have two side lengths. We're good to go. So set up those cosine or law of cosines and you can solve for x. Once you solve for x, then determine is the ranger correct or not. This part is exactly the same as what we were doing in finding the angles. Once you have this measure, which you just should have solved in the previous problem, once you solve for that, then you'll have all three sides and you'll be able to calculate this angle. At the end, the concept summary, remember, don't memorize all these. That is just too much. Just remember that what you're looking for is on the left side of the equation. And then these all say the same thing. Basically, side you don't have squared, another side you don't have squared. Subtract 2 times both of the sides you don't have squared, and then cosine of the angle opposite of the side you need. I hope that helps.